You mentioned Conor McGregor in mixed martial arts. We talked about the UFC a bit last time, and I mentioned Conor, funny enough, and that was before he became a big star. This was like 14 months ago. But it's been fascinating to watch him and the way he moves. Like you said, he's not afraid to give his back up, and I've watched him closely because along with his style comes a bravado and a way of speaking that's just really. I mean, I don't think Ali was even at the level Conor's at. So, but I've watched his movement aside from the talk, and it's fascinating to see, especially when he goes up against, career-defining moments, the way he stays relaxed and stays moving and gives his back up and just seems to kind of be very in the moment. And, we both know from the, MMA and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu backgrounds, there's these memes that you build up to where you don't even know you're doing them, but you are actually rigid in what should be a fluid environment. Do you watch him? Do you get inspired by him?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love his stuff. I love his fights. I love his point of view. I love how he took a lot of my ideas and applied it in his field. And mentioned a few times.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. What kind of things?
I would love to meet him and do some work with him. And I think he's taking this generalist movement perspective inside fighting, and he's definitely applying that. And there is so much you can do with it, because he's not. Most fighters are standing there with their English or their Russian or their Portuguese, their language. And they're waiting for you to ask them this question. But all of a sudden you come up with some, and there is no answer for that, specifically inside the techniques that you were taught. There is no specific technique to match that, and that's where he shines. By asking those questions and by answering these unformed, mutated, but beautiful answers. It's a true expression. He's doing the Bruce Lee thing in many ways, expressing the art of expressing the human body. He is the genuine self. Yeah, you can say for good or for bad, but the style, the actions, he is bringing something very genuine. Yeah.
Yeah, and you see his opponents not being able to, like you said, answer the question because they don't know what language.
They don't know what is that?
Right.
What even is that? And he is contributing something to the collective knowledge by bringing in his unique self and building on top of the work of others, but bringing something genuine, and I appreciate it. And I'll tell you something else that I appreciate. I appreciate loud mouths. I appreciate them. They can directly shine a mirror in your face that reflects your own ego and, of course, create a lot of reactions with people. But if you get over that, you understand that he's a risk taker. Loud mouths are putting it out there and taking huge risks. And yeah, just, I appreciate it. He's confident, but more than that, as confident as you are, you have to either do it or do not. And he's definitely doing it. He's going for it. Yeah. He's. There is a lot of good stuff in the movement that is happening. I see that he's taking some patterns and he's mentioning some terms that I've been using regularly in interviews, and I am very honored to see that he's getting that information. And
what kind of practices did he adopt from you, or what kind of?
I saw some patterns of movement on the floor that I played with, and they became kind of known through my work and the type of mobility work that I'm doing, which is very specific and to how I look at things, and ideas about movement and about talking about movement and general movement and the art of the human body movement. What does he mean? He means this language. This is an arm. And if I don't perceive this arm as punch, elbow, but I perceive it as an arm, I am much more able to respond to what this arm can produce than through the technical language perspective. This principle approach is like a master key. It opens any door, while the other opponent is fumbling around with a bunch of keys trying to find the right key for the door. It's a principle superior to technique. principles much higher than technique. They produce techniques instantly, whenever you need them. What do I need right now? I just make it.
And he was talking about movement 2 years ago. A lot of people started talking about movement after you started talking about it. You know, we live in a world of intellectual property and patents and trademarks, but you can't do any of that. Or is that a game that's really not worth fighting? Because that can drive you crazy, can't it? You know, you talk about practices and routines. I've even seen things that people grab from you and I'm not even looking. How do you deal with that as a person who creates? To watch the rest of this fascinating interview, click on the link below and go to londonrealacademy.com. There you can sign in with your social media, log in and watch the rest of the episode for free, along with all of our episodes on London Real, my webinars, and all of our premium content, all located over at londonrealacademy.com. So click on the link below, you'll be directed there and you can watch the rest of this fascinating interview, and I'll see you there.